Ian, you know that
Sir.
in the news, loot boxes, how it's been controversial, and Pat's always proclaimed one of the reasons why that was mood lighting, that was space lighting came up. One of the things I said that was always an issue with loot boxes and why there might be regulations, because a lot of times you don't know the odds of getting a particular item.
Right.
You know when it's a rare item for sale, if it's 1 in 10, 1 in 20, 1 in 50. Especially they do like those weird weekend rush events you always talk about.
Yeah, like the special events for Overwatch, for instance, where the costumes are only available for a limited amount of time.
Limited!
And you don't have a button. And there are definitely people who just go nuts on loot boxes to get the costumes they want for their favorite character.
But it's problematic because even when you go to a casino, you know the odds of winning. They list the odds of winning.
Freaking scratchers list the odds of winning right on the back.
So I always said this is going to be an issue, and now you have government agencies in Europe banning loot boxes outright. In the U.S., they're looking into doing it. So now the companies are responding, and so the ESA, the Entertainment Software Association, announced that Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony will be required to implement new policies requiring the disclosure of all loot box odds for games on their platform. I told you so. Ian told you so too. I mean,
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
I wonder personally how much that will affect people buying into loot boxes once they see, it's $1 in a dream.
It is a scratch off at that point?
Yes.
1 in 50,000 to win the jackpot?
Yeah.
I don't know, but at least you have peace of mind to people spending that money. I guess if you're spending that money, you may not care, but at least to parents, they may not know, oh yeah, buy a few, Johnny, you'll get that helmet that's available or what have you.
It would definitely be a Kevin, not a Johnny.
It would be a Kevin, not a Johnny. But at least this is the first step, because government regulation is going to happen no matter what, but this is something that the ESA can have ammunition in their pocket during a hearing. It's going to be weird. I'm not going to look up that much into the crowd. But they'll at least say, hey, listen, government, Uncle Sam, we're trying to do this. Look, we're trying. This is a preemptive strike against that.
My favorite stuffed animal as a kid for a long time was a stuffed Uncle Sam from the 1984 Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah. Just so you know.
Okay, now we all know here in Long Island. Yeah. We all know. Yeah, give it up for Uncle Sam plush. Why not? You don't still own that, do you?
No, but I do have the 1984 Adidas Olympic bag that has the eagle on the side.
All right.
I really like this mascot.
You like the 84 LA Olympics apparently a lot.
The mascot was great.
So this is what they said. I'm pleased to announce this morning that Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony have indicated to ESA a commitment to new platform policies with respect to the use of paid loot boxes in games that are developed for that platform. Michael Warneck, ESA's chief counsel for tech policy, said today. There's a workshop for loot boxes. There's a workshop. That's an interesting workshop.
I've always wondered,
are they constructing them there?
That's I've never understood why they're called workshops, because very rarely are you working or making anything.
You have a box lunch available to eat when you arrive at a workshop, and you talk at a round table, and someone gives a little presentation.
Warm ham and Swiss.
Yes, maybe with an apple on the side, or a bag of chips, or a
brown
cookie.
apple.
Hopefully, you get a cookie.
Really black banana.
So I guess we'll see how quickly this gets enacted. It looks like it's going to be 2020. No later than the end of 2020. I don't see why it couldn't be sooner than that. The people making the games and doing loot boxes, they know the odds. They program them into them. They know what the odds of getting these objects are that you pay for. So it's not a secret to anyone. This is what does Sony say here. Sony Interactive Entertainment aims to ensure PlayStation users have access to information and tools, such as parental wallet controls, that will help them make informed decisions about in-game purchasing. We support industry efforts to disclose the probability of obtaining randomized virtual items known as loot boxes, and are committed to providing consumers with this information for all games we produce and publish.
Pat, they're not loot boxes, they're surprise mechanics.
Surprise mechanics.
Surprise mechanics. It's like a Jack in the Box.
EA's like, damn it, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony, you're ruining it for us. So again, this is preemptive, obviously. The fact that they could have done this 5-6 years ago if they wanted to. It's like, why didn't they? Well, no one was on their butts to do it.
So speaking of odds, I knew this idiot in high school who worked at a convenience store, and he tried to run scams on the lottery tickets. He did. He would pull them out of the roll, and then he would just scan them to see which ones the winners were, and then he'd cash them in.
Yeah,
He
but
thought he was freaking brilliant, but it ended poorly for him.
You mean for the instant ones, I guess?
Yeah.
He would just scan them one after the other.
He would just pull them and then scan the barcodes to see which ones won. Like, he was the first person in the world to think of that.
How quickly was he arrested? Like within a week and a half?
Yes, it didn't last long.
What? How
Probably
did you
2
guys
shifts.
know I was scanning tickets that are in your system? What?
Anyway.
Any other random stories that have almost nothing to do with this, Ian?
Probably, but let's continue.
Plush lottery scams? So we have 1984, was that 1997?
That was, like 98.
Or anything from 2012 we want to talk about right now that could relate to this story in some strange fashion? You wanna
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's great. You guys are on the edge of your seats there for that one. So it looks like Microsoft and Nintendo did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Let's see. We believe in transparency with customers and providing them with information for making their purchase decisions. A spokesperson for Microsoft said in an email, this is why by 2020 all new apps or games offering loot boxes or other mechanisms on Microsoft platforms that provide randomized virtual items for purchase must disclose to customers prior to purchase the odds of receiving each item. In addition, we're proud to offer robust family settings that offer further control over in-game purchasing.
Take a breath.
I am. Okay. Got the lights on me. It's hot right here. We're in the spotlight on the planetarium. Oh, Nintendo had a response too. Same sort of stuff. Informed choices. Blah blah blah. Disclosure of drop rates. All new games. Same stuff. They were
Thrilling.
They were lockstep on these statements. All three.
Yeah,
They huddled together. It's like a big mafia meeting.
I mean, what are they going to say? We were forced to do it, so we're doing it.
Or
Thanks.
Sony says we didn't want it, but Nintendo we're pulling our arms to do it. You know.
Like Nintendo beat up Sony to be like, you got to do it.
No, they just they
Just raining punches from heaven.
They made them an offer they couldn't refuse. Nintendo. I talked about their ninjas. They got ninjas. Does anyone else have ninjas? No. All right. Anything
Moving
else?
on.
Well, not moving on yet. So I mean, we have to put a bow on this topic. This is important. This is an important topic for all of you. Who out here has kids that have bought loot boxes without their knowledge? Anyone here in the audience?
Yeah,
One person? Oh, you don't have a kid. Okay. He doesn't have a kid. Anyone in the back there that's hiding have a kid? Who here has bought their own loot boxes? Okay, like a third, 40% of you, pat math.
Does
Okay.
Nintendo Badge Arcade count?
Does Nintendo, what was it?
Badge Arcade? Yeah, sure, that counts.
What's that mean?
Nintendo Badge Arcade was on the 3DS, and it's essentially one big playable loot box.
Okay, you're off screen again.
That's fine. No one needs to see me. You would get like free coins a day, but you could also pay for more coins, and you played like a little crane game, and it pulled out badges, and you could stick them all over your menu screen.
God, do I like the crane game.
Yeah, I do too. That's why I played it. I didn't play it for the badges, I played it for the crane.
Okay. Well, moving on. Was that 2012 story? No.
I mean, honestly, could be. Could have
Every
been.
13 years, Ian has an anecdote.
Yeah.
Okay. Ian, Pat, your favorite game of all time, unfortunately, DuckTales Remastered is being delisted. Well, it has been delisted already, I think,
August
yesterday.
8th.
Oh, 8th, and then by the 9th, it was gone from all the platforms
Yeah.
there. So it was 75% off. Ian, did you purchase DuckTales Remastered?
No, it
before?
was sent to me because someone said I had to play it, but
Oh, you had to review it. It took you 3 years to do it.
because it's not good.
The same 3 years took to get my Bloodsport shirt back, by the way.
I thought you were gonna say something about your blood sugar.
Blood sugar level, it's dropping fast because the heat's on me and I'm losing all consciousness. No. So here's the deal with this. Obviously, you have Disney probably had the rights to this for a certain amount of time, or had to be re-upped, and Capcom probably didn't get the rights back to continue selling it, or it wasn't worth their time or money to do it at this point.
Yes.
So what's harrowing about the situation to me?
Harrowing.
Harrowing. This game's only been out for 6 years.
Yeah.
Seven?
6.
6 years. 2013, I think it was.
Right.
So in 6 years, it goes from a game that got a lot of buzz and attention. This is a big deal. This was the push of them, basically DuckTales for a new generation, and then a few years after that, you get the new series. And so in 6 years, you have this game that got a lot of praise and attention and buzz, and now you can't buy it anymore. At least easily, you can't find
Well,
it.
you can find a physical copy, but that's about. I mean, and those will probably get snatched up because everyone likes it, but me.
Everyone but Ian. So yeah, I think you can probably still, let's see, what's this go for on eBay right now? I can't get the internet right now.
$30.
It's $30?
Yeah, might be gone up though.
is going up in value. The value, Ian, is going up.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, they announced it and then they dropped it 75% digitally, but like for a day, and then it was gone.
So the good news is I think on one of the platforms, you didn't have to have it downloaded. As long as you had bought it, you'd be able to download it still.
Yeah, that will eventually run out though. So I usually don't mind buying digital games. As a matter of fact, most of what I buy on the PlayStation 4 is digital, PlayStation 3. But, so I really like Mr. Driller. I wanted to take Mr. Driller on this trip to practice because I want to get the high score. And I loaded up my Vita, and Mr. Driller wasn't on there anymore. And I'm like, I guess I deleted it to make room. So I went to the PlayStation Store, and even something like Mr. Driller apparently has a license that expires because when you go to the menu selection and you hit it to re-download it, there's nothing there. It says no file exists. So good job on cleaning up your store, Sony. So I was like, damn, this is awful. It's a tragedy. And so I was looking up other ways to play it portably because I had it on the DS once and I sold it. So there was one on the DSi shop, Mr. Driller, I don't know, drill for fun and pleasure. And,
Maybe that's why you never came back.
so I looked it up, and that one was also delisted too. So while I am generally okay with digital titles, I mean, even that has affected me. But the story has a happy ending because I didn't sell it. It had been sitting on my shelf the whole time. So now I brought Mr. Driller with me. Anyways, yeah, so licenses, etc., expiration, it's bad stuff.
Capcom gave a 2-day heads up. That's kind of weird. Even with Netflix, you know, stuff's leaving like a few weeks in advance.
Yeah, I think Telltale gave people like a month warning in advance before they started pulling their stuff. So yeah, 2 days is not very much. Maybe they didn't know it was going to happen.
I have a feeling this is going to be like put into law, codified in like 10, 12 years when this happens with every single game where you have to give a heads up that you bought a game, and then if it's within a certain amount of time, like, oh, it's 5 years later, really? Give me at least 2 weeks to download it again. If it's going to, you know, the servers are being shut off, there's got to be something happening because this is going to happen with more regularity year after year.
You know what the word codified makes me think of? Fish fries. And I'm definitely going to get one when I'm back in Buffalo. Cod's a great whitefish.
I don't know what's happening right now with Ian. Uncle Sam plushes and scams being done at stores.
Robomart.
Robomart, okay.
At the corner of Millersport Highway.
Okay, Ian, you want to just talk about your childhood and weird teenage years during the panel? We could do that.
I mean,
that's why these fine...
Do I want to? That's what I'm kind of doing.
I guess so. You're taking this over. This is what Capcom said. If you already purchased it in the past, or if you buy it before the dates and times below, you'll be able to still access and play the game. Okay, thanks. So the servers aren't being shut off just so you can't be able to purchase it.
Oh, my point when I was talking about Driller is you won't be able to after a certain point, though. They say you can, but then they're going to sneakily take it away from you like they did with Driller for me. I bought it. I paid my goddamn money, and yeah, so I couldn't re-download it. Anyways.
Okay, that was actually...
It was related.
A coherent thought.
Yes, it was.
It had something to do with the topic.
I have them on occasion.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so they were available until August 9th on the Wii U. If someone still has their Wii U turned on somewhere. PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Xbox One, and then Steam. I should have bought it on Steam yesterday, but we were stuck on the airplane by then. See, being on an airplane, you know, they don't think about digital sales. People like us stuck at the airport. We can't download Steam games.
The only good thing about Delta is they offer Cheez-Its on the flight as a snack.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, I would have been extra mad.
Extra mad?
Extra mad.
Oh, you were surly that morning.
I was not happy.
So here, about the physical versions. Disc-based in. Disc-based versions of the game will install and play normally, and if you've already bought the game digitally, you'll still be able to re-download even if it's removed. So I wanted to be able, since I have a certain documentary in the works, I wanted to actually have someone look at the screen of the store shot of DuckTales, and what happens at that time? Do you have until that time to hit the button, or if that box is already open, can you buy it? I wonder what happens then. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you click on the title in your store, but you didn't click buy, what happens when you click buy after that time runs out? Is it unavailable, or they give you that
No,
time?
no,
back?
Sony just leaves a blank page there. That's what I was saying
And you
about
didn't,
Mr. Driller.
you just keep clicking and nothing
I
happens?
was looking at my Vita and I kept hitting.
Oh, you kept hitting it
I was
literally.
like, no, this is wrong. This is bad.
You just missed it by a few minutes?
No, I'm talking about the Driller. I don't know when Mr. Driller got delisted
That's what I mean, though,
like
but
2 years ago.
But you can still access where to buy it.
Yeah, so I looked it up because I didn't believe it. I was like, why? And they were like, yeah, 2 years ago, they're like, don't worry, if you bought it, you'll be able to download it. Just like that BS.
Wow.
But I can't. They sneakily removed it.
Well,
Yeah, it is dumb.
And you and the 3 other Mr. Driller fans were
It's
enraged.
hecka dumb.
Well, Namco owns the rights
You're
to
in
Mr.
for-
Driller.
Mr. Driller's fantastic.
I'm not saying what no one cares. Who here is a Mr. Driller fan?
Never played it, but
Yeah, 5 people out of 100.
Those are the 5 best people in here. I can't see any of you, but
yeah, Namco owns the rights to Mr. Driller, right?
yes.
So I think it's just a licensing deal with Disney and Capcom.
Uh-huh.
That's why.
Driller's not Disney.
No, I'm talking about that's why.
Would you like the 3rd mic, sir? You want to come up here and take over the podcast for us? That's one thing that doesn't happen live usually.
Surly Sam.
All right, so we got this. This is done. We're done with DuckTales Remastered, Ian.
It's a done topic.
You might have to put yours on eBay now.
The Wii U, yeah, oh, no. Someone gave that to me. They sent it to me in the mail.
The same way you got a certain Bloodsport shirt that was sent to you.
Pat, you have the goddamn Bloodsport shirt now. It's done. It's over. It's finished.
I want interest on that shirt. I don't know
You're
if that
never
means
gonna wear it.
A pair of leggings. I'm never gonna wear it.
No, it's extra large. You wear schmediums.
I don't wear schmediums. This is a large I got on. This isn't a schmedium.
All right. Well, it shows your pecs like one. You got those muscles.
I'm self-conscious now. I'm all fluttered.
You're chesty.
Okay. Wow. I feel harassed in my own podcast. All right, moving on. All right, glorious day, Ian. This is about the third or so NWC cart found in the wild the past 3 or 4 months. That was turned in to Pink Gorilla up in
Yes.
Seattle.
Our pals up at Pink Gorilla got one. I don't know the last time one was turned into a store. Probably.
Well, I guess was it? There was the one in the that was turned into people that owned the store, but it was from the storage unit. That was a
Yes.
few months ago. We talked about that.
Right.
I thought there was one other one potentially that was found, but they're popping up. So this was number wasn't 208. What is it? It was what,
That
302?
looks way nicer than the one that got turned in.
So Pink Gorilla Games owner Cody Spencer, they paid $13,000 for the cartridge. It was turned in by someone who didn't know what the value was, Ian.
The value.
So they had a bunch of games. It sounds familiar, Ian?
Yeah.
They had a bunch of games. They came into the shop.
But it wasn't a bag of sports games.
So Cody was nice to say, this is worth money. Otherwise, I could have bought it for probably a song and a dance. And then, they looked it up, and $13,000 is fair because they won't reveal how much the buyer. They moved this within about 24 hours after purchasing it. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's insane. I would assume that they probably got 20 for it.
At least.
Yeah.
At least. Even that condition, the condition was a little rough, but it doesn't matter. At this point, people are buying these up for an investment for the future. They absolutely are.
Right. And it's, I don't know, I feel like, I wonder how many more we'll find. Everyone always thinks that every one that's found is the last one, and then another one pops up.
Keep popping up everywhere, too.
Yeah, it's all over. It's all over America. I mean, the fact that this one was in Seattle does not surprise me at all. Seattle seems to be
That's the Nintendo hotbed.
that seems to be
obviously.
the place to find rare Nintendo stuff. But yeah, everywhere.
But isn't there like a definitive number of cartridges?
Is there a definitive number of cartridges? Well, I keep seeing in these articles that there was only 90 gray, and I don't know where that started from. They gave out 90 to the participants at the final, but I guess because of Wikipedia entries that people weren't questioning, every single article and IGN people are coming on in their videos talking about the story, saying there were 90 gray cartridges, and no. I think they talked to Kelsey who said no. I mean, there's at least, what's the highest number? Like almost 350. So there's at least that many, if that's what their serial number was. They weren't randomly giving out serial numbers to these.
Right.
So 350 seems to be a good guess. Until there's a bigger number found.
Even if it's 3 digits, sometimes cataloging might start at 1. There's probably still at least 250. But how many
There's
exist?
ones below 100 though. that
Oh,
are
there.
numbered.
Okay, there
Yeah.
are. All right.
I don't know what the lowest number was, but there's ones below 100. So, So if there's 350, and now we're getting up to what did I say last time? There's probably around 80 or 90 gray ones that we know that still exist.
Yeah.
So maybe a little more. So we're rocketing towards 100. If one's found every 3 months, like this rate, this would be a $50 game in a couple weeks.
Wonder when people are going to go to the junkyard and start kicking banana peels looking for the rest of them.
Kicking banana peels?
Kicking banana peels.
Is that an old-timey Buffalo expression?
No.
Kicking banana peels?
No, that just came from my head right this moment.
You slip on banana peels potentially.
No, you don't. Mythbusters did an episode on it, and you cannot slip on a banana peel.
I recall a certain Path the NES Punk episode where Ian might have slipped on a banana peel. That was thrown by Donkey Kong.
Yes, that was very real. That was very real.
That was a real-life documentary.
Man, filming that part was crazy. I fell on my ass bones so many times.
But your bony buffalo butt, is that what happened?
My buffalo bone butt. Bony buffalo butt.
It was all for the art, though. It was all for the art.
Yeah, it was fun jumping over cans of baked beans.
What was that, 2012-ish, 11?
What is your obsession right now with 2012?
Because every 13 years, something weird happened. Plus, that was the mind calendar thing.
It would be really fun to live until 2112 for like Rush. The Rush album, 2112.
I'm not familiar with that album.
I'm sorry.
Okay, then. Back to the NWC card, Ian. Where were we? We're talking about here ESA. This is done. Holy Grail. Our pals Kelsey and Cody running Pink Gorilla. I think it's also like the third anniversary of them owning the store or something like that.
It's second or third, but yeah, good on them.
Good purchase. So let's see, where's the original story here? Oh, here it is. The guy came in not knowing at all what the cartridge was worth. He was pretty blown away with the offer. I made sure to explain to him what the item typically sells for and what we would offer him and why. The seller had no idea what it was nor where he got it. It sounds like he collected NES games a little bit when collecting NES games had yet to grow in popularity. So we're talking probably like late
98,
90s.
yeah, 99.
Probably went to a garage sale. Former employee was selling a bunch of garbage
And everyone was going off of Etler's list still.
Mike Etler's list?
Yeah.
Or they didn't know what it was at that point. Maybe this guy didn't know what that list was. Good old Mike Etler in New Jersey. Let's see, did they get this right about 90 cartridges? Yeah, no, they got it wrong, IGN, what a shock. While the Nintendo World Championships 1990 cartridge is often reported to have a limited run of 90 gray, Pink Gorilla Games owner and co-director of the Video Game History Foundation, Kelsey Lewin, clarifies that, let's see, that as high as 348. Yeah, that makes sense. And 302 was the one they had in stock. So a situation happened at Luna Video Games, 2 locations.
Yeah, like, shit, 10 years ago?
It was 2000, was it right after I moved 2009 or 2010?
I don't remember.
It was 2009-ish, late 2009, early 2010. I think it was early 2010. I want to say like February 2010. Something like
Every
that.
time someone hears this story, no one's ever going to think it's a random sports game ever again.
Yeah, well, you never heard from that guy who traded it in.
Nope. Never came back.
Maybe it's this guy. Maybe he's
Left
like
me a bag, said I want some hookup cords. I was like, well, this looks like shit. Said fine, put the bag down, and it wasn't until I went through it 5 hours later that I was like, oh fuck, that's what I think it is.
Maybe it's the NWC fairy. Maybe it's the same guy here. He just drops off a magical NWC card to random stores throughout the U.S.
Like Johnny Appleseed, planting them as he goes.
You leave a Sonic the Hedgehog 2 cartridge under your pillow, and then you see what happens at the store next day. That's what happens. I don't know what I'm talking about here. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm rubbing off on you.
You're rubbing off on me. I'm insane now as well. Okay, it's the Holy Grail. I'm going to guess it went for probably $25,000. I think they talked to our pal, super collector Steve Lynn, in one of these articles, and they said at this point, it's probably at least $25,000. Oh, here it is, yeah. Steve Lynn says, I'd say a minimum of $25,000 nowadays. That's probably low given the influx of buyers from the comic/card/coin world that I now know and deal with at convention.
Dirty outsiders.
Dirty outsiders, the value, Ian.
Unwashed.
Unwashed? Wow, well, I don't know how they bathe, but all right. Anyway,
And money.
for the full story and how these cartridges existed, check out Frank Cifaldi's awesome history of the first Nintendo World Championships, or ask him on the floor. He's here at this convention.
Yes.
Hey Frank, recount your story you wrote 10 years ago on this. All right, moving on, Ian. So we have an announcement.
Yay.
Well, about Konami adding more games to the TurboGrafx. I'm sorry, I got him so excited about something. He was like, "Yes, see you podcast movies happening." Not yet.
Not ever.
So we got Konami having new titles unveiled for the mini. A surprise, Ian.
Yes. They finally got some Namco support, and it is getting Splatterhouse, which is fantastic.
Give it up for Splatterhouse. That's a key. a key title.
I think more than anything, that's the game people really wanted on there. So the fact that they got it is huge.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I would say
then-
2 or 3 other games to really get every quintessential title, but
So it's still missing Devil's Crush, which upsets me. Alien Crush
It's
is a
not-
great game, but
Legendary Axiom comes before Devil's
no,
Crush.
it doesn't. Legendary
Wow.
X does not come before
That's a
Devil's Crush.
quintessential TurboGrafx title.
It's a
Legendary
great
Axiom.
game, but it's not.
Your love of pinball blinds you, Ian.
No, it doesn't.
A little bit. You guys want Legendary Axe on this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Game of the year in 1989.
Game of the year, 1989. That's true. I don't know who gave.
I was 10 years old then playing that thing.
What? I don't know what
All right, well,
magazine.
then I've been
I don't
slapped
know
down.
what magazine gave them Game of the Year, but one did, so it's a Game of the Year if they did. Anyway, so this is what they got going on here. They're gonna add Dragon Spirit, which I forgot to mention. That's a great game on the TurboGrafx.
It is. It's really good.
Dragon Spirit, Galaga 88, which
Also very
we had
good.
Galaga 90 here, so I don't know how 88 differs.
It's the same game.
It's the same game.
With
Okay.
it was just released in a different year.
Now I don't know the Genji and the Heike clans.
That is a I believe it's a top-down Namco arcade game.
Okay, the Legend of Valkyrie.
I love Legend of Valkyrie. That's
What's that?
Have you ever played it?
No.
It's a top-down hack and slash. Like it plays like Zelda, but arcadey.
Ooh,
It's real good.
Ooh, you know, there's no language barrier to that.
No.
Whoa.
No, it's a pure arcade game, but you're doing the top-down hack and slash and stuff like that. There's even like weird platforming elements. It's super good.
Okay, I'm excited. Sarai Senshi Spriggan.
Okay, so Spriggan is probably it's my second favorite shooter on the PC Engine. Usually goes for about $100. It's part of the same series as Musha on the Genesis, and if you like Musha, Spriggan is better. It's super colorful. There's lots of skulls, castles, explosions. It's a nice time. However, I believe Spriggan 2 was added.
Spriggan Mark II.
Nah, fuck that. That game is not so good.
Why? It's just more Spriggan.
No, it's side-scrolling instead of vertically.
Oh, so it throws it off everything?
So I just don't like the weapon system. The neat thing is, though, as you're flying, like text boxes will appear, and like the pilots will talk to each other, and like you'll get help that comes in and gets shot down. So it's really neat from a presentation standpoint, but the game itself is
Nah. Okay, so now we officially get to over 50 unique titles. Because before it was like 46-ish due to the crossover. So now we have like, you can honestly say there's 50 unique games on this. Languages aside. So that's fantastic. I'm glad there's Galaga 90/88, Dragon Spirit I love. That was one of the times I rented, I think I told you I rented a TurboGrafx game once or twice. There was like one store that had them.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because I couldn't remember. I was like, I didn't own Dragon Spirit, but I know I played it and I rented it at an Easy Video store, which was a chain. It might have been here too. In the 80s and 90s.
And if you've only played the NES version, this is more of the arcade version, and it's different. It's worth playing.
I don't remember the differences between the two. It's just more the arcade.
The Nintendo one I think had like an extra power up, and it's got like the weird story added to it.
I like the weird story.
I do too. I like it. I like that intro where
You play the prequel basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was the original. I think it's the original arcade. That's the first stage, and then it's kind of like a sequel story. I believe that's what the NES one did. Now I remember. It like recapped the first game in that first level. Something like that. Anyone out there play Dragon Spirit? Am I kind of right
Dragon
about
Spirit,
that? And the NES one, it like retells the story real quick.
Yep.
Okay, I know what I'm talking about. I played Dragon Spirit
My brain feels all tight now. Let's move on.
from the planet area that we're in.
Just trying to figure out.
Who here is excited for the TurboGrafx Mini?
Yeah!
Who here actually had it as a child? Like 4 people. Wait, now you want to play these games. You're like, what is this weird console that I heard about in legend and mystery, and now it's here.
And then there's some really expensive games on there, like Sapphire's on there. So this is going to be a great way to play Sapphire. This will hook up via HD. So stuff like that is going to look beautiful. It's going to look gorgeous.
It's gonna look gorgeous.
You think they're gonna add Bond 3?
What? I heard Bonk 3. They're gonna add Bonk 3. I don't think so. Maybe I heard it by now, but you never know. What was the other question?
I said the Wii kind of made it popular with a virtual console.
The Wii did make
Yes,
it.
it did. It brought attention to the TurboGrafx in the U.S.
Maybe YouTube videos might have here and there. Oh, that was disdainful. That was disdainful. So YouTube didn't help at all.
No? Yes? I don't know.
I'm asking them.
Okay.
That hurt my soul.
I just noticed it comes with the best Pac-Land port.
You know what? Now that they have Namco, why is there not Pac-Land? Get Pac-Land on
I
there.
know, the Pac-Land's fantastic.
Get Bloody Wolf on there.
Magical Chase.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, get Well, it's on Namco, but get Magical Chase. Who owns Magical Chase? I forget. Who's that?
It's some small, not really well-known company. I have no idea.
I think Pac-Land should be on this.
It's the only one. It's the only version with the cutscenes.
There you go.
Not even the arcade one.
And he has this cute Japanese long nose in this one, not the short stubby nose, I believe. We talked about that in video game years.
He's got a hat.
He's got a hat.
He's looking
Is
dapper.
that the stubby nose on the TurboGrafx one?
No, he has
You see the long nose.
he has a schnoz.
He has the schnoz Japanese nose. Okay, that's fine. There's different nose sizes in these versions. I'm not making that up, I think. Am I imagining this?
You might be.
Am I imagining it?
You might.
Okay, and then you don't just waste $50 to never have a second player come over
That's
and
so
play
sad.
Battle Royale. I know, it was a sad childhood. Kevin didn't want to play Battle Royale with me.
Did
What do
you
say?
Did you plug other controllers in just
I
to make
pretend-
it
yes,
feel like?
I, I had a second, yes, and I pretended someone wanted to come over and play a two-player, TV sports hockey with me.
Okay.
Yes. I actually imagined my head playing 5-player TV sports hockey with friends. Like, oh, this is cool.
Little
Oh,
Pat just sitting there smashing 2 controllers. This is great.
we can play Blades of Steel.
I'm
or we
better
can play,
than you.
We can play 5-player TV sports hockey, but I didn't have the friends to play with. That's okay. That
seems unfair, 5 players.
I don't think about it at all.
That's 3 humans on one side
I don't-
and 2 humans on the other.
But I don't think about that every other week.
You do.
Like how I never use my TurboTap ever.
That's
that
a lie.
I saved up allowance for 4 months to buy. Anyway, all right, we're gonna move on. So it's good. Splatterhouse, yay, Splatterhouse. All right, Ian,
Yes.
do we have a live Tales
Yeah!
from the game store?
All right, so I'm just sitting at work. This is about a week ago. And this family walks in with their kid, almost adult son, their large adult son. I'm not sure. He looked like he was probably about 18. And he comes up to the counter and he's like, "Do you have Super Nintendos?" And I go, "Yes, I do." And I pointed to them. And his mom asked, "Will these work on modern TVs?" Smart question for a mom who probably hasn't played games in a while. And I said, "Yes, they do." I said, "It's not ideal." And I said, "We have these Retron consoles that will do the job. They hook up via HDMI. They're new. The graphics will be clear, and the input lag will probably be lower than if you were running an SNES through AV." And the kid shakes his head and looks at me and goes, "Not gonna do. I'm a collectionist. I'm somewhat of a collectionist."
Well, let's back up a second. Not a collector.
No,
A collectionist.
a collectionist.
Not a preservationist.
Collectionist.
A collectionist.
Collectionist. And I had to bite my lip so freaking hard.
Wow.
So I looked at him, and at this point, it'd been a long day. I started to turn sour like a lemon drop inside. I felt my soul dying. So I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "I'm just starting." I'm like, "All right, I just wanted to make sure you know what you're getting into. There's going to be some input lag here, etc." So I go in the back and I grab a Super Nintendo and I hear the mom talking to him, being like, "I don't know if this is a good idea, etc., etc. Maybe you should get this other one." And once again, he goes, "Mom, I'm a collectionist."
Wait, what? Okay.
Yes.
He snapped on his mom. How old was this kid?
He was anywhere between like 16 and 21. I couldn't tell.
So in that awkward age where you still have to have your mom drive you places,
Yeah,
and put up with that, but
Right.
but he was feeling his oats. He's like, "All right, I'm a man.
Oh, yeah, no,
I'm
no.
my own man, mom. I'm a collectionist.
He had something to prove.
I'm proving I can stand on my own, mom."
So I go and I get a Super Nintendo and I put it on the counter and he goes, "Is that official?" And I go, "Yes, that's a Super Nintendo.
There's a standard Super Nintendo.
Standard Super Nintendo, wasn't a Model 2. And he goes, "Okay, just wanted to make sure." And he goes and he starts looking at games. And then he comes back and he picks up the Super Nintendo and he's looking at it from every angle. And mind you, this was actually one of the nicer Super Nintendos that I've seen in a while. No fading, everything
No
was,
yellowing.
Nope, everything was very
Clean.
clean. And he goes, I'm particular about these things. I've heard about Chinese bootlegs.
Bootleg Super Nintendo systems?
Yeah. It didn't make any sense. And of course, if it's a bootleg, it must be Chinese. You know, bootlegs don't come from anywhere else. It's like the fucking North Pole. That's where Santa resides. China is where all the bootleggers reside. So I go, yes, it's a real Super Nintendo. And he goes, okay, I just, wanted to make sure it looked right. So I go in the back, and I go to get the cables for him. And he yells to me in the back room. He goes, do you have official cables? I'm like, yes. And I give him the Super Nintendo controller, and it's obviously a real Super Nintendo controller. And he goes, is this official or is this fake? And I said, I slipped a little bit, and I said, do you know what you're looking for? And he was like, yes. I'm a bit of a collectionist. So I bring him the cables, and he picks up the fucking cables and starts looking. And he's like, do you have any in nicer condition?
He wanted good condition AV cables for the Super Nintendo?
So I put him down, I said no. I was like, these are the nicest ones I have. So then he goes back to the game case, and he starts looking at the games. And he goes, he asked for, and sorry, it's not my favorite series. He said, what's the title of Donkey Kong Country 2? Someone help me.
Diddy Kong Quest.
Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong's Quest? Okay, yeah, that was it. He goes, can I get part 3, Diddy Kong's Quest? And now I don't know the games that well, so I'm like, sure. And I go and I grab it, and I'm like, that's the Dixie or Trixie one? Yeah, and I take it out, and I put it on the table, and he goes, no, I want Diddy Kong's Quest. And I was like, you just asked for part 3. And he goes, well, no, put that back. He said, put that back. He said, I'll take Donkey Kong Country 2. So I grabbed it. And
one of you was going to be wrong in that situation.
I got him what he asked for. He said Donkey Kong 3, Diddy Kong's Quest. And I was like, well, I don't know this stuff. So I got the Donkey Kong Country 3 that he asked for.
Okay. You didn't look at the title on the carpet? Okay.
I just grabbed he asked for Donkey Kong Country 3.
I'm just saying.
I gave the brat Donkey Kong Country 3.
You knew this kid was trouble. You knew he
well, he's a collectionist.
He's a collectionist.
I know.
Collectionists don't like this.
Yeah. So yeah, then I rung him up, and at that point I just tuned out completely to whatever he was saying. I don't know what he was doing, stroking off in the store.
Oh, come on.
He's a collectionist.
There's children in the audience.
I'm sorry. So yeah, I rang him up, and they left. And the mom was like, we'll be back, and I gritted my teeth. The end.
Okay. Yeah. So is that the first? We have to make sure that we are defining this word for Merriam-Webster. What a collectionist is? I never heard this term in my life.
So when I
2019 August, the collectionist.
I posted a little bit of that on Twitter. I was just like, as I'm going, I'm like, this is ridiculous. And people kept coming at me with other fake names, but the best one was collectionaire.
Collectionaire?
Yes.
Like extraordinaire, but collectionaire?
Yes, exactly.
So someone do a mashup of me and Gerard's, my face.
Oh, someone actually did send that to me. They said, Gerard the collectionist.
Gerard the collectionist. Yes. Well, that was interesting, Ian. Do you think he'll come back in the store once he gets his own license and does that mom drive him anymore? Ma! Ma, I need to go to the collectionist place. What has our generation done, Ian? These kids, we become collectionists.
I normally like the kids who come into the store to buy stuff. They're usually nice and interested. They ask questions. They know what they're talking about. It's cool. You can tell they've done their work. I'm talking kids who are 12 or 13. They're teaching their parents about this stuff. It's impressive.
And those hormones kick in, they become collectionists.
Yes.
something turns
You
inside
start
them.
finding collectionists on
get
weird
fun-
places on your
Yeah,
body.
you start getting tingly sensations when you touch certain game cartridges, and it happens, Ian. Happened to me. Yeah, I was 12. It was early onset collection.
Early onset collectionism.
That's what happened to me. Well, that was an interesting story, Ian.
You're welcome.
That was a good live Tales from the Game Store. Yeah.
I don't do them live.
Oh, we do it live? We'll do it live.
We'll do them live. Travel for the tales.
All right, we got 15 minutes of our Q&A time on this live CU podcast here.
Someone's gonna have to. Can you see all the hands?
Any hands?
I mean,
Anyone
any
else?
hands?
Any questions
I
here?
can't see any people.
We'll do it right up front first.
What have you guys picked up today?
I picked up